Let me tell you a story. In 2009, during one of the worst financial meltdowns in history, there was a man named Jerome. He wasn't rich. He didn't have a financial advisor, but he did have $185,000 in savings, a retirement payout from his job of 30 years. Instead of panicking, Jerome did something different. He split the money into 3 parts: a safe dividend ETF, a small rental property in his town, and a small emergency fund. People told him he was crazy. Real estate, now? Fast forward 10 years. Jerome was pulling in over $2,800 a month in dividends and rental income. He traveled to visit his grandkids, paid 0 housing costs, and lived a quiet, wealthy life. He wasn't flashy, but he never worried about money again. Why? Because he learned how to grow his wealth and live off his investments long before others were even thinking about it. Jerome's story isn't unique because of luck. It's powerful because of clarity. He didn't chase trends. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He followed timeless rules with a smart, long-game mindset. And that's what this video is about. If you want more breakdowns like this, real strategies for real people, subscribe to the channel and let's build your wealth the right way. Let's kick off things with the first investment strategy: reframe how you see money. Before you ever touch an investment account, you need to do one thing: shift the way you think about money. Because here's a fact no one teaches us in school. You don't work for money, money should work for you. Sounds cliche, right? But let's break it down. Most people treat money as a reward for effort. Work 40 hours, get paid, spend it, maybe save a little, rinse and repeat. But the wealthy don't play by that system. They treat money like energy, something to direct, multiply, and control. Instead of just asking, "How much can I earn?" they ask, "How can this dollar I have earn $1 more?" That tiny shift in thinking is what separates people who just get by from people who build real wealth. Let's use an analogy. Imagine you're the captain of a ship and money is your crew. If you just let them roam around the deck doing random tasks, nothing gets done. But if you assign them each a job, give them a mission, and make sure they report back with results, now you're running an empire. Every dollar should have a job. Is it working to bring more dollars in? Is it building a skill? Is it reducing your taxes? Or is it just sitting there getting eaten by inflation? The people who grow their wealth, even with less, are the ones who give every dollar a role in their strategy. So here's your first assignment. Stop seeing money as a trophy. Start seeing it as a tool, a worker, a builder. That shift alone will change the way you make every decision from here on. Now that we've reframed how you see money, let's talk about what to actually do with it. This wealth strategy is simple but powerful. Use your income to buy back time. Here's the truth. Time is the most valuable currency. Unlike money, you can't make more of it. Once it's gone, it's gone. But if you use your money wisely, you can buy freedom, the kind that lets you choose how to spend your hours. Most people are stuck in the grind because they've been sold a lie, that the goal is to earn more to spend more. That's how you end up with high incomes and low net worths. The wealthy play a different game. They use income to create margin, and margin to build freedom. Think about it. If you made $100K but your lifestyle cost $90K, you're not rich. You're just busy. But if you earn $60K and your lifestyle costs $30K, you've bought yourself options. So how do you do it? Start by automating your savings and investments. That money should move the second it hits your account. Next, identify tasks you can outsource or delegate. Laundry, errands, editing, anything that costs less than your hourly rate. Then, reinvest the time you save into building skills or assets that increase your income without increasing your effort. This is exactly how to grow your wealth and live off your investments, even with $200 or less. It's not about flashy wins. It's about consistent trades, money for time, time for value, value for freedom. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the next way to grow your investments, which might be the most important in volatile times. Build a strategy that survives uncertainty. Let's be honest, most people invest like the good times will last forever. But anyone who's lived through a recession, a crash, or even just a job loss knows that's a dangerous mindset. This lesson is about resilience. It's about building a wealth strategy that works when things go wrong, not just when everything goes right. Here's how you do that. First, stop relying on one income stream. If your entire lifestyle depends on one paycheck or one client or one market, you're living on a fault line. The wealthy diversify not just investments, but income, rental income, dividend income, digital products, consulting. Spread your roots wide, and your tree stands taller in any storm. Second, adopt a bucket approach. That means dividing your money into purpose-driven categories: a safety bucket for emergencies, a growth bucket for long-term investing, and a cash flow bucket to fund your lifestyle. That way, when the market dips, you're not panicking. You've got a plan. And finally, train yourself to think like a chess master, not a slot machine player. That means zooming out, thinking in decades, playing offense and defense. The best investors don't react, they anticipate. This is how you grow your investments, even with $200K or less. Not by chasing trends, but by creating a plan that bends, not breaks. Let's continue to the next game-changing investment strategy, a habit that nearly every millionaire credits for their success: tracking your numbers like a seasoned CFO. Here's the thing. What doesn't get tracked doesn't get managed, and what doesn't get managed, it doesn't grow. If you've ever worked in a company or run a business, you know that nothing happens without reports, budgets, metrics, KPIs. Now think about this. If you wouldn't let your business run blind, why would you let your life run that way? The wealthy don't guess what they spend. They don't hope their net worth is growing. They know because they track it. Start by breaking down your numbers. What's your monthly income, your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, your savings rate, your investment performance? If you can't answer these in under 60 seconds, you're flying blind, and that's a dangerous place to be. Now, this doesn't mean you need to build a 20-tab spreadsheet, just one clean dashboard. You can use apps like YNAB, Personal Capital, or even a Google Sheet if you want full control. The point is, clarity creates confidence. Let me put it like this. If your finances were a car, tracking is your dashboard. Would you ever drive 80 miles per hour without seeing your speed, gas level, or check engine light? Exactly. So stop doing that with your money. Tracking isn't about restriction, it's about intention. It lets you decide where your money goes, not wonder where it went. And when you do that consistently, you'll find something magical happens. You'll start spending less, saving more, and investing smarter, automatically. This is how you grow your wealth, not with luck, with leadership. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. Let's move forward, because the next wealth lesson will show you how to make your investments bulletproof. If there's one silent killer of long-term wealth, it's not the market. It's emotion, fear, greed, impatience. These aren't just bad habits, they're financial landmines. And unless you know how to diffuse them, your portfolio will explode at the worst possible moment. Let's break it down. Have you ever bought a stock because it was going to the moon? Or sold everything during a dip because you thought it was all crashing? That's emotion talking. And the market eats emotionally reactive investors for breakfast. So how do the wealthy avoid this trap? They follow systems, not feelings. They create rules and automate decisions to stay grounded when everyone else is panicking. One common strategy? Preset buy zones and exit points. These are predefined price levels where they know they'll buy more or take profit, regardless of what's trending on Twitter. They also limit how often they check their accounts. Why? Because the more frequently you look, the more likely you are to act. And most wealth is lost not by what people hold, but by what they panic sell. Think about Warren Buffett. His number one rule is, don't lose money. And his number two rule? Never forget rule number one. That's not just witty, it's wise. Protecting your capital is just as important as growing it. So if you want to grow your wealth and live off your investments, you need discipline, you need structure, you need to zoom out, because markets will swing, people will freak out, and headlines will scream doom. But your strategy should stay calm. Coming up next, we'll talk about a mindset shift that most people never make, and why it holds them back from ever becoming truly free. Let's get into it. Learn to play the long game, even when it's boring. There's a secret among the ultra-wealthy that almost no one talks about, and it's not some underground stock tip or hidden tax loophole. It's this: the people who win at wealth play the long game, even when it's painfully boring. We live in a world that rewards speed, fast gains, quick flips, viral success. But when it comes to real generational wealth, the opposite is true. The people who build it and keep it are the ones who stick with their plan when it feels like nothing is happening. That's why this lesson is about delayed gratification. Not because it's a fun concept, but because it's the only way most people will ever experience compounding in full force. We talked about everything from building your income engine to using debt the right way, from delayed gratification to mastering simplicity, from mindset to mechanics. And if there's one theme that ties it all together, it's this. But the wealthy, they stay planted. They understand that the real results don't show up in year 1 or even year 5. It's year 10, year 20. That's when the snowball starts rolling, and it's unstoppable. This is how you grow your wealth and live off your investments, even with $200. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to be consistent long enough for the magic to kick in. And if you're thinking, yeah, but I don't have decades to wait, here's the truth. If you don't start now, you'll still be waiting in 10 years. Might as well have something to show for it. All right, let's keep the momentum going and explore a powerful mindset that makes the difference between people who build real wealth and those who stay stuck hoping for it. Master the power of repetition. Here's a wild truth most people ignore. The boring stuff builds the biggest wealth. You know what doesn't go viral? Automating your investments, rebalancing your portfolio, making that same $500 transfer into your brokerage account every single month without fail. But here's what the wealthy have figured out. Those small, repetitive actions, they're compounding in disguise. See, it's not about finding the next big thing. It's about getting consistent with the right small things. Because those small wins, they stack, quietly, relentlessly. And before you know it, you're sitting on a financial snowball big enough to change your life. But here's the catch. Your brain hates repetition. We crave novelty. We want dopamine hits. That's why most people abandon solid strategies way too early. They get bored. They chase something shiny. And they reset the whole compounding clock again. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. If your wealth plan isn't boring yet, you're probably doing it wrong. This is exactly how to grow your wealth, not with wild swings or lucky breaks, but with habits so consistent they'd make a monk jealous. Let's make this tangible. Pick one habit this week that supports your financial goals. Maybe it's scheduling a weekly money check-in. Maybe it's setting a calendar reminder to transfer into your Roth IRA. Maybe it's reviewing your expenses with your partner every Friday night over takeout. Whatever it is, repeat it, guard it, make it sacred, because the wealthiest people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. All right, moving forward, we are going to unlock something even more powerful, the wealth-building benefit of saying no. Let's get into it. If there's one wealth lesson the top 1% never stop applying, it's this. Delayed gratification creates unstoppable momentum. You see, the average person spends first, saves later, if there's anything left. But the wealthy, they flip that script. They delay today's dopamine for tomorrow's freedom. Let's say you're holding $10,000. You could upgrade your lifestyle right now. New phone, trip to Mexico, designer clothes. Feels good until the dopamine fades and the bill stays. But what if you invested that same $10K into an index fund compounding at 8% annually? In just 10 years, it becomes $21,589, and in 20 years, over $46,000. That's the math of patience. Here's the deeper reason why this matters. Every time you delay gratification, you're not just saving money, you're rewiring your identity. You're saying, I choose future me over current cravings. That creates momentum, it builds discipline, and eventually it builds wealth that lasts. It doesn't mean living miserably now. It means being strategic, splurging occasionally with intention, but prioritizing assets over applause, legacy over lifestyle, impact over impulse. This mindset is at the core of how to grow your wealth and live off your investments, even with $200K or less, because your habits compound long before your money does. Moving forward, let's unpack one of the most misunderstood tools in the investor's toolbox: debt, but not the way you've been warned about. Let's get something straight. Debt isn't the villain. Misused debt is. The rich don't fear debt. They harness it. They use it like a lever to multiply wealth, not like a shovel to dig financial graves. And that's where the mindset shift begins. Imagine two people take out $100,000 in loans. One buys a depreciating car, maxes out credit cards, and chokes on monthly payments. The other buys a small rental property generating $1,200 a month in rent while the value appreciates. Same amount borrowed, radically different outcomes. Here's the rule the wealthy play by. If the debt pays you, it's worth considering. If you pay the debt, tread carefully. Debt used to acquire assets that generate cash flow, real estate, businesses, dividend-yielding investments, can fast-track your journey to living off your portfolio. But consumer debt? That's a silent thief. The key is clarity. Before taking on any debt, ask, is this helping me build income or just funding my ego? When used wisely, debt becomes a tool of acceleration. When abused, it becomes financial quicksand. Up next, Lesson 10 uncovers one final principle, the glue that holds this wealth-building formula together: consistency over complexity. Let's roll. Here's a brutal truth the wealthy understand better than anyone. Complexity kills results. The average investor jumps from one hot strategy to another. Crypto today, penny stocks tomorrow, gold the next week. But those who actually live off their investments, they keep it boring, repetitive, simple. Why? Because consistency scales, simplicity compounds, and boring strategies executed relentlessly outperform brilliant ones done inconsistently. Think about it. Warren Buffett made the majority of his fortune by sticking to timeless investing principles, not chasing trends. He didn't become one of the richest men alive by day trading or flipping NFTs. The real flex is automation. Set up systems that invest every month. No emotion, no hesitation. Focus on your income engine, stack assets, and let time do the heavy lifting. That's how to grow your wealth and live off your investments, even with $200K or less. So ask yourself, what can I simplify in my strategy today? Where am I overcomplicating things in the name of smart? Because at the end of the day, wealth doesn't respond to noise. It responds to habits. And just like that, you've reached the final investment lesson. Let's take a deep breath and recap the journey you just went on, because this wasn't just a list of tips. These are wealth secrets many people miss out, the very blueprint behind how to grow your wealth and live off your investments, even with $200K or less. We talked about everything from building your income engine to using debt the right way, from delayed gratification to mastering simplicity, from mindset to mechanics. And if there's one theme that ties it all together, it's this. Wealth isn't reserved for the lucky, It's earned by the intentional. You don't need millions to start. You don't need insider connections or flashy apps. What you need is commitment, a plan, and the courage to start stacking the right habits today, because every small step adds up. And maybe most importantly, you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going, because the compound effect will take care of the rest. So here's your next move. Rewatch this video, take notes, pick one investment lesson you're not applying yet, and start there. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. It is important to conduct thorough research and consult with financial professionals before making any investment decisions. The value of investments can fluctuate, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Always assess your risk tolerance and investment goals before allocating your capital. If this message resonates with you, I recommend you watch this video next, which complements this perfectly. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this video informative and exciting. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one. Until next time, keep investing in what truly matters.